Hey folks, Labor here once again. Welcome back to another review. I enjoyed my review of Daredevil 2003. That was the theatrical version. Now I'm going to be reviewing the director's cut. Uh, yeah, yeah. This is the director's cut of Daredevil. This is the slipcover. So you can see. Sorry for the clear picture of Daredevil, him and Elektra fighting, and Bullseye and Daredevil and Elektra. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the making of the movie, but the thing is with the director's cut, they added more 30 minutes into this movie with the director's cut. Yeah, so, we should do a special features behind the scenes and stuff. Yeah, cool picture though of Ben Affleck as Daredevil on the front poster. The director's cut. I guess I left a little tape on there. Because I did buy this from Walmart. Well, from what I got, this film is only you can only buy this film on DVD. I mean, on Blu-ray. I don't know if that's completely true, but yeah, I would say get it on Blu-ray definitely. It looks really good on Blu-ray. Then you have a picture of a Kingpin back there. Yeah, pictures of Elektra and Matt kissing for the first time. Kingpin fighting Daredevil, Bullseye, and the picture of Daredevil himself in the Blu-ray disc for the movie. And there are special features on it as well. I don't need to get making behind the movie, but I think the reason is they made this article, like I said in my review, to the theatrical version is that I do think that they great getting some heavy rain soon. The computer's telling me that. Anyway, hope I can get done before that. That's my plan. I want to get this review done tonight. But I'm excited to talk about Daredevil. Love the character of Daredevil. He's always been an awesome, underrated Marvel character in my opinion. Again, I'm not interested in the TV series, but the movie did inspire the TV series, I believe. But I'd rather see another Daredevil movie, as long as there's no Steve. I do think Daredevil did have a little studio experience. The good news is that this movie is rated R. There's some blood in there. There's a bit more added into the fights. It is rated R for violence language. It does have some language in it, and the violence is a bit more, can be a little more bloodier at times. A little more would be nice, but you get what you get with this movie. The director's cut is a lot better. It adds a lot more to the story. I do have some problems though with it. I will say that, but I will say this is definitely the superior version of Daredevil that we needed. And again, I don't blame the theatrical version on anything. I don't blame Mark Steven Johnson, or Ben Affleck or any of the cast. Can't blame them. Can't blame the cast and crew. People behind the scenes. It's really the studio that's given the budget, and that's all they should do. But sometimes the studio tries to interfere. As I said, it was a time where Blade was rated R, but Blade was successful as a different type of character. That was successful at the box office. X-Men 2000, Spider-Man 2002 that came out the year before this. Um, that was successful at the box office. So, Marvel was doing well. So I think the studios just wanted to, a piece of the pie, I guess you can say. Yeah, wanted to make a little money. They figured, well, make it PG-13, cut it down a bit, you know. I guess because you say kids could go see Spider-Man 2002 a little bit. That just came as a kid, but yeah, I remember, when I was 9 years old, a lot of other kids were there to see it as well around my age. So yeah, they probably thought, well, same thing with Daredevil. Let's just water it down a little bit. That's just my suspicion, folks. I could be wrong. That's just what I'm thinking. That's just my perspective on that. Hate to tell you though, but half the time studios just think more about money than they do the fans. I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's just the truth. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about the director's cut. I'm not gonna talk about no behind the scenes. I've already done that in that version, so but it's pretty much the same story. But this version came out. I said this version came out a year later after the movie. That was in 2004. It received more acclaim than the theatrical version, and for good reason. And again, it's the same story that by day, blind attorney Matt Murdock clothes for justice in Hell's Kitchen. By night, he's Daredevil, the man without fear, a powerful mass vigilante stalking the dark streets with an uncanny radar sense that allows him to see with superhuman capabilities. But when love of his life, Elijah Nashos, is targeted by New York City's ruthless kingpin of crime, Michael Clark Duncan, and his daily assassin Bullseye, played by Colin Farrell, Daredevil may be about to meet his match. And it stars the same cast too: Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner and Colin Farrell, and some of the and John Favreau was in here too. Gets a bit more screen time in this movie. But you see Matt Murdock in the beginning. You get the opening titles of the movie again with the church. Some flashbacks of they give you these quick edit shots of the flashbacks and Daredevil being on the cross, you know, and the father asks him he's okay, and then he's narrating again. You know, some people say life flashes before your eyes when you die. It's true, even for a blind man. Talks about his history. You see him, the same kid playing him, being bullied. He's like, my dad's gonna be champ, and he wakes his dad up. He's like, well, who won? I beat that guy. And instead of this time, a little more dialogue is added. You know, when he tells his dad, well, they just gave me a lot of shit, Dad. He's like, don't curse. I don't like that. I'm sorry, Dad. But they were saying something. Well, what shit did they give you? That's what his dad said. You know, he's like, no, man, don't listen to him. You don't be a fighter. You be a doctor or lawyer. You can do a lot better than me. He wants his son to have an education, a good education. And get mad again, once again, staring into the sun, at the moon. And the next day, you see Matt go to his dad's work. His dad was working his construction site. Matt goes there, questions the young Matt Murdock. I mean, and says, "Hey, have you seen my dad, Jack Murdock? He hasn't worked here in months, kid. Get out of here." And then he just throws his report card down when he's been making A's. Apparently, his dad's been lying to him, and he sees that his dad is robbing the guy that you see, and he gets the plastic waste on his face, on his eyes. He's in the hospital. Some scenes theatrical version again where he's just freaked out, got the bandage on his eyes, and he's hearing, and his radar senses are kicking in. And his hearing hurts. He can barely, with his radar sense, he's like super hearing. He just sees things differently now. His dad comes in. This time with dialogue, instead of saying, I'm sorry, Matt, he says, Matt, the doctor said I'm blind. I know. I was like, how could you hear that? I just knew. I just can. Some change with me, Dad. And he's like, I'm so sorry, Matt. And it's like, they made a promise to, keep on fighting, to never give up. Matt, once again, his dad's doing well in the fights. And because the guys that bullied him said he works for, that bullied man said he works for Fallon. He says he doesn't. But you kind of find out he is. But anyway, Matt is reading, off being blind. He gets frustrated with the book, throws it in the punching bag, sees the punching bag with the radar sense, punches it a bit more. You see him do more acrobat stuff instead of just doing a handstand on top of a roof and sliding down a pole to trash or whatever, to a bunch of box trashes or whatever. Instead, you see him, do more tricks, more acrobats, jumping around a little bit, you know, which I thought that was cool. Some of those scenes were added in, and he gets the bullies that come to deal with him again. He's like, "You gonna fight me? Hit me! Come on, punk!" And Matt is like, "Okay, okay, come on." And then he tries to fight Matt. Matt, it's really hard right there. He's like, he tries to hit Matt. Matt taunts him a bit, and so again he's like, tries to knock him out, and then Matt knocks him out, knocks the two guys out, pushes the kid over, kicks one guy, does a backflip. This. And then next thing you know, his dad has a fight the next night, and they're talking to and Fallon's talking to him. Was like, "You work for me, Jack. Do you really think you never really did? It's time for you to throw a fight." And he's the one to throw a fight, but he thinks about his son. He goes, as he's having a hard time thinking about it, what he's going through, he goes in with his, running his boxing matches, and he says, "Come on, Matt, let's go." And I like seeing Matt Murdock just doing with his stick, just doing some moves. He's like, "Come on, Matty." And he's gonna get knocked out, but his Matt's like, "No, Dad, don't give up, never give up." And he says, "Screw it." And instead, right in front of Fallon's face, he beats the guy. And for doing that, as Matt's waiting for him, still waiting, his father walks out, gets beaten up by Fallon's men, and by his head enforcer, which is Wilson Fisk, who would later become the Kingpin. And Fisk kills him. I'm assuming Fisk was Fallon's men at the time. This is before Fisk becomes the Kingpin, but he does a final blow and kills his father. And does the whole thing with the red rose. I was like, Dad, I can't see you. I can't see you. Touches the flower, breaks it. Then he vows justice. And you see many years later, Matt Murdock grown up, getting up out of because he sleeps in the coffin that's wet, that's got water in it. I guess water blocks the sounds and it helps him sleep better. But you see him get up, and you see his legs, and his legs are twisted real bad. Because being Daredevil, he goes in a lot of fights. You see how he lives, how he gets money out, and all that stuff. Has to walk around to fill the walls because he's still somewhat blind. But you do see Fallon in the limousine after they kill Jack Murdock. That of course Fallon was there, and you see Kane Otter who plays one of the guys. Like if you pause it, probably you probably see him like give Jack Murdock a couple punches. But when Matt became a lawyer, he became the Matt. He's a lawyer by day. Matt Murdock, a lawyer, a blind lawyer. People assume he had to let Foggy help him out a little bit. I think he lets him do it because he has to kind of put on an act as well that makes people believe he's blind. That this man is not Daredevil, of course. Daredevil, when he grows up to become the vigilante Daredevil, seeks justice at night and takes on the bad guys brutally. But he is able to keep that secret. Of course, he's got as you can see right here in Daredevil saying, that is his billy club or his baton. Yeah, that he can use to fight criminals and stuff. And you go the same thing with he's talking to Miss Quesada, and Miss Quesada is like, are you aware that Miss Quesada that perjury is a crime, that you can't lie in court, you have to when you're under oath, you have to tell the truth. And of course, Matt being lied to test because Daredevil can sense those very senses he can detect if you're lying, and he knows he's lying. He's like, Mr. Quesada, I hope justice has been found here today, for justice finds you. And he's like, I can't give up. Well, Matt, you have them somewhere outside the courthouse. He's like, well, Matt, she had a history of drugs and stuff. Well, that doesn't matter. That was a long time ago. Well, still, the jury doesn't see it that way. Yeah. And Mr. Kazar is laughing about it. He's like, that's enough. And then you see him dress up as Daredevil with the gear, with the practicing, with the baton, with the billy club. That's cool. I feel like he made a few of them. Well, he's practicing, and you see him go on the rooftops at night and do a jump, which is really cool. Land on the skylines, jump on three of them, just do acrobats, just acrobating around and jumping around building to building. Finally makes the Casada. You have a little picture in the bar where, some ladies are flashing her breast or whatever. You don't really you see half of it, but they're like riding bikes in the bar, and he's teasing people like, I've been acquitted, sweetheart. Casada's just drinking, smoking, having a good time. That he got away with the rape. But they say Daredevil, and he's like, hey, boss, is that guy serious? Yeah, he's serious. And he was like, what do you want? He's like, justice. And Daredevil throws his little baton at him. Hate to him right in the tooth. I presume it knocks him, it knocks him his tooth out right here. And when it does, he's like, oh, Daredevil jumps down. The fight, the PG-13 version doesn't show much, but this more is a bit more of a fight. I think it's better shot. The editing I felt in this time was toned down a little bit. You see him kick a guy, punch a guy. You see him kick a gun out of a guy's hand. Daredevil gets knocked down, almost hit. Even if you guys hit him with like pool tables, but you see an awesome scene where he pulls out these batons and finds some guys. We see a little bit more here, which is cool in the director's cut. You get a bit more of the action, a bit more of the violence, which is awesome. You want to see Daredevil in action, and you do. And of course, he runs again because with his radar sense, he can tell if they're, getting their guns, they're going to shoot at him. He can sense those bullets coming. He gets away real quick, able to because of his abilities, but gets away and jumps in the cage. Kicks around and kicks the guy in the face, knocks him out. Sees Casetta, and the fire happens again, and Casetta's hiding, and Daredevil is like this. Casada, it's time to pay the devil his due. You know, as he's taunting him. I love that. That was a fucking awesome line. Excuse my language, but I'm like, yeah, I love that line. He says that, but Casada tries to get away. Daredevil chases him. He's running in fear. He's tripping, falls down the stairs. Daredevil's like right standing there. Daredevil walks up all the way down. Daredevil hits the side. Because again, Quesada's, at the subway station fighting with his gun. You know, Daredevil can see it through his radar sense, but he gets scared by the subway train when it comes by. It hurts his ears, and he has to hit it with his baton, aside of the baton or the gate. He's hit a gate. He has to hit a gate, hit it, to get the sound out. Daredevil finds him, he's walking. Daredevil's walking, he knows where he's at. Just pulls at that rope on his billy club and chokes him. He's like this. How are ya? He's like this. Haven't you heard? He's like, I was clear, innocent. He's like, not by me. Who made you? Who made you the judge and jury? He's like, who made you the judge? And dude was like, you did. You know, I just like that smile on his face, like he's taunting it. Like Daredevil, someone enjoys taunting his enemies, but Daredevil gets, the silver chain comes by, he like, oh, gets hurt, and he pulls his gun there, and Daredevil can hear that chain in there, that bullet. He's got one bullet that kill him. He's like, you go to hell, Diablo. Yeah, but you go there first, and breaks his back. And same like dialogue as you hear in the theatrical version, where he says, "You see that light? That's not heaven." He's like, "I swear to God, I'll kill you! I'll kill you! I'll kill you!" I think he might say it before Casada does when he's screaming. But when the train's coming, people hear it, and Daredevil was like, "That's not the sea." He's like, "That's not heaven. That light, that's not heaven. It's the sea train." And he kills him. Then Earth comes by, tries to talk to this cop detective who believes Daredevil's just a myth. But Ben Urch is this reporter who wants to make sure, believes in all these urban legends. And Daredevil was one of them. He wants to prove that Daredevil exists. He throws fire on the ground. It kind of reminded me of the Crow a little bit, but it was still cool, though. Eventually, the next day, Matt learns that they meet a guy named Dante Jackson, who was put on trial for an alleged murder of a woman named Lisa. Because I forgot the night that I mentioned that he went home. When he gets home, he listened to his messages. You see all his Daredevil equipment, his mask, his batons. I guess he keeps extra stuff around just in case if he needs it. See him take his jacket off, his like suit off, and you see on his back he's got all this pain from all the fights he has. You know, takes a shower, goes to bed. Like he has this vision of this woman, the Lisa Tasso woman, with her being murdered, being shot. He can somewhat maybe hear it. I guess Daredevil can hear all these versions. He can hear crime going on, and then just goes back to bed. Still has some nightmares, but then he dreams about. I guess when he was a kid, he had to go live in Hell's Kitchen. He had lived in a church, grew up there, and I guess a nun kind of raised him along with a priest. You know, well, he had to be raised by somebody, right? In Hell's Kitchen. That's where he had to grow up after his father was killed. He was only 12 years old when it happened. Anyway, what's the next day? They meet Dante Jackson, who's accused of the murder, and like I said, he can sense the detection in his heart. He knows that he's telling the truth. Um, they talk about alligators in the sewers. This is where you meet a lecturer. I'm just going through it. He talks with her. Kind of same line dialogue where Foggy drinks the coffee and spits it out, you know, because it's mustard in it. And Lester didn't give him a name. He has a fight with her again. She's like, my name is Lester Nachios. But then, like in this director's cut, though, you see that the bodyguard show up. I forget what the dialogue was. He's like, oh, you're his daughter, you know, Nicholas Nachios. I know that. He's like, well, she's like, I'll find you, and she has to go home. She was able to lose him at the coffee shop, but they follow her. Anyway, you see Matt and Corey. He's late. And Foggy, it's funny to see him how he helps him. He tries to help Matt go sit down, but he almost misses the spot and almost falls. And Matt does pretty good. It's a pretty good turn of green and blind, of course. Because and he knows that this detective McKenzie is lying. You know, because of his heart rate. Give me a break. I've only seen this director's cut only a second time, but they go to this. They sneak into this apartment. They find out. They get a location, a number 6 9, a 6 8 number with a mom on it. MOM. Oh, finally his mother did it. And I thought it was funny when Foggy saw that. And Foggy, is looking at all these, what do you call them? Thrift stores, shits, fuck, like statues, mannequins. Mannequins in this apartment. He touched them, was like, and then Foggy tells him, let's get out of jail for we need lawyers. It is fun to see Foggy more. It does get a little annoying, I think, as it goes on to see him. Well, the word is wow, our mom. You know, anyway, when Matt sees Electra again, eventually they do share the kiss in the rain. Tells her, you are so beautiful, and she tells him this time that not that she said it in the original, in the theatrical version, but her mother died when she was killed right in front of her when she was 5 years old. They share a kiss, but there is no love scene because he hears a man beaten, and it's the guy from Hell's Kitchen that's beating up on people. Daredevil beats him up. He's like, beats the guy up. It's like, kid, I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy. And Daredevil, I'm sorry, Kingpin eventually hires Bullseye. You do get see more scenes with Bullseye. He does knock the lady out, the old lady that's talking too much. He does that, that's funny. But you see him at the airport by security, filling stuff out. He's got something in his mouth. He's like, he sees a dog, a German Shepherd, and he looks at the dog. And he's like, you know. But yeah, just a little extra scene with him at the airport. But that was funny. I thought that was pretty cool scene. A cool scene. Karen, is their secretary. She's like, you pay fish. It's gotta pay with fish, man. You gotta pay with money. We need money. Not surprised all that stuff. This, it doesn't let a law officer guy say, what is your problem? You know. But anyway, with this happening, they go to the ball. Matt doesn't want to go up first. He says that Electra's out of his league, but he goes there. They do go there. They talk to Ben Urch, and Ben Urch looks at his cane and sees that something obvious about it. You can see the red top on it, with the devil sign on it. He's like, cool color red. He's like, I wouldn't know. They talk to Kingpin. They say the same thing. He's like, unless you got an appointment with Kingpin. I mean, with Wilson Fisk. Sorry, Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. Well, Fisk, is a philanthropist, just a philanthropist, a businessman, legit businessman, runs a good business, but is actually running the criminal underworld, crime organizations. Is all charged by him. That's the Kingpin. But the thing is, nobody knows who Kingpin is. It is Fisk, but Fisk is able to keep his identity a secret for the time being, until he tells them, "Well, we only support people who are innocent." You know, and I do think Matt is always somewhat believe that Wilson Fisk is the Kingpin, believes it somewhat, and King, Fisk says, "I believe nobody is innocent, nobody. As you're even, gentlemen." And then he has the dance with Electra. She takes off his glasses. I wish you could see me tonight. And they hug each other, and he goes to Electra's father, Nicholas, and tells him, "I've never seen this. Mother died. It's so sad when history repeats." I was like, "Whatever do you mean?" And he's like, "Just saying goodbye, old friend." Puts the flower in his pocket jacket, and is like, "Just saying goodbye." They take off. Foggy, I forgot to mention, is talking to Wilson and was like, "Look, we're enough handicapped people. We don't need to serve you guys at all. We don't want to deal with you. Goodbye." And then he's like, "Prick," to Wesley. Under his breath, you have Foggy touching a breast of almost of a statue, being weird. That was funny. But anyway, they're gonna go away when, Elijah and Matt dances there. She realizes like something's wrong, and Matt was like, "No, stay here." He's like, "The guard will take you home. Security will take you home." And she punches the security guard, and again, Matt becomes Daredevil. It's the scene though where he's around the edges when he's gonna beat that man up, you know. But instead, it's going after Bullseye kills Frank Miller. Frank Miller is one of the comic. Yeah, he has a cameo too. I think Stan Lee they skipped his cameo, but his cameo is in the theatrical version where Stan Lee's a man about to walk, with the paper about to walk into the street until young Matt Murdock kind of stops him. Other scenes where Matt is talking with Alexa when they're meeting for the first time, he always just tell her to be careful. Or a scene where Foggy and Matt, almost get hit by a taxi driver's like, I got a blind man here. Where's he going at? So I'm like, I love this down. Anyway, Bullseye, doing the same thing on the motorcycle, you know, staying on top of it, riding it, by standing up, has his bullseye weapons, kills the men. Daredevil shows up, he shows those weapons. He's like, I missed. I never miss. Tries to run over Daredevil with a motorcycle, but Daredevil kicks him off. He's like, lose something. He's got the baton, Billy Club, whatever you want to call it, and throws it. Daredevil almost catches it, but the explosion happens. And it hits Nicholas Nachos, kills him. Electra tries to shoot a gun. She's thinking it's Daredevil, so she shoots at Daredevil. Daredevil gets away, and she's crying over Dad's dead body. His parent has been killed in front of her again. So she sets her mind on revenge. You have Foggy afterwards setting out to cry. I mean, not cry, but he's, talking to Don Chestnut on witness stand, but Dante's being very annoying, and so is Foggy himself. That scene I think he didn't really need, but that's just me. Oh, I forgot to mention there's a scene where before Lester's father tells Kingpin that he's out, that he's done with him, his business. He's like, "How's your?" Before he says, "Jar." Before you get to that scene though, Kingpin talks to Wesley. Say, "You know, Wesley, back in the day, they would cut their security guard. They would cut their tongues out. Not interested to prove you, Wesley. Well, it's kind of my kind of thing." And then he makes one guard out. Because I guess they betrayed Kingpin, so he kills him up and knocking him out with a stick. Gives him a guy, shows him. Kingpin's like, just picks him up, breaks his neck. He's like, clean this up, Wesley. He's got blood on his cane. He's supposed to clean up for him. I just wanted to bring that up. Yeah, you didn't see that in the original film. Where Kingpin will kill his men brutally if they betray him. You know, he's willing to murder you if you turn your back on him, though. But anyway, when Bullseye gets away, Daredevil, Matt's upset. Those things are. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting stuff. You do get the scene where, um, where Ben Urch goes to Kevin Smith. He shows him the Daredevil, so he sees that he can use this cane. He's realizing that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. They go at the funeral. He's like, "Oh, sure, come with me, come stay with me." He's like, "Revenge." She's like, "I want revenge, Matt." And she's like, "I want revenge. Revenge will take the pain away. Trust me, Electra, please." But she goes, but she's like, "Just drive." And Benner trusts him. He's like, tells him about, your client is innocent. It tells him that he can help him. He's like, "Okay." Uh, Daredevil that night, Matt goes as Daredevil to try to search for Bullseye. I forgot to mention Bullseye. Sees a rat. Bullseye. Let's, you know, use that pretty look in his eyes. Daredevil around starts around again. He's climbing up, you know, jumping off the rooftops. Finds that we have this uh, laundry clothes are hanging out, and he's just looking around. He gets distracted by these birds, and Lester's like, "Remember me?" And then she hits him. Kicks him like, beating him like this. "I didn't kill your father. It was a assassination. It was a liar." Somebody says something that sounds like a shampoo commercial, but I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's perfectly fine. She kicks him. They do fight a little bit more as Daredevil's trying to cut her. He's backing up. They're fighting a bit more. He's able to jump to the next building, but she jumps too. And she almost there was a knife hit again. He grabs her. He's like, "I don't want to fight you." He's like, "Good." And then this won't last long. She does go backflip, grabs the sword, stabs him again, opens his mask, apologizes. I'm like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "I try to protect you." Bullseye shows up. He's like, "No, he's too strong. You can't fight him." And he can't do anything. Matt is just forced to sit there and watch. Devil is forced to watch. Sadly, she gets more of a beating. More a little brutal this time than it was in the theatrical version. Same things where he's trying to swing at him, he knocks her out. Cuts the throat with the cord, and he also goes right to the wall. Kicks her a bit, kicks her a couple times. Kicks her, slams her head into the wall, and he's like, "For my next trick," he picks her. He's like, "You're doing something here." So she stabs her, and it starts like he kind of, when he stabs her, he tries to like give her a kiss, a nasty kiss. It's a be nasty, I guess you can say. But he kicks her to the side. He's like, "Goodbye, baby," and he throws the red rose flower, from Kingpin, because he talked to Kingpin earlier. They have the same talk about, how do you kill a man without fear? By putting the fear in him. The different line, in the third version, he says, "I want a bloody costume." But in this version, Bullseye says this, "I want a costume." He says that. Anyway, after he kills Elektra, she dies in Daredevil's arms. He's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "Stay with me." He hears her heart rate. She dies. He saves some police. goes to the church, has a fight with Bullseye. It's kind of the same thing though, but the only difference is about it when he throws the baton at him, the for paying ties, the button you put it in or whatever the buggy you put it in, he throws it at Daredevil's throat. But Daredevil throws the baton, Daredevil, Bullseye does this, looks around, Daredevil throws the baton, yeah, tries to catch up there. Same fight, they fight on the church pipes. He kicks the church pipe down. Daredevil's holding on to the church pipe, is able to, give his billy club, use the rope out of it to grab him, and they fight a bit. And he's like, they're poking each other. Bats come out. I mean, he realizes Daredevil's weakness, and he tries to, they go up top of the church fight, and he's like trying to throw his weapons at him, but Daredevil's getting it, and he kind of takes his own weapon out of his belt, and he realizes Daredevil throws it at it, hits him in the head, and then Daredevil pulls like kicks the glass, you know, you know, you know, Daredevil jumps, and but Bullseye is able to ring the bell. He's like, "What's your weakness?" Spray on the noise, spray on the noise, and then he knocks it down, starts, hitting the wall with the stick and the hits Daredevil. He's like this. Fisk said you wouldn't go easy. Fisk is the kingpin. Yeah, the whole railroad thing, not my thing. Hired me to kill Alicia's father and Alicia herself, but I told him I'd do you for free. I'd kill you for free. He's like, now, Daredevil, what was I says? Because he took it personal that he made a mess, so he really wants to kill Daredevil's like this. Gonna do a final blow with the stick to kill him. He's like this. The devil is mine. And once again, the police shoot him in the hands. And after Bullseye gets arrested, well, gets to the hospital, go in jail eventually, yeah. Uh, Banner shows the detective that he has information that Wilson Fisk is the kingpin. They talk to Wesley. Wesley, before tells him that Bullseye failed, and he knows what's coming. He's in the guard's room. He's like, Wesley, I was raised in the Bronx. This is something you wouldn't understand. And after getting Wilson to confess, because you find, John Favreau, Augie, thanks to the Buchanan, they find out that it was Wilson himself, that someone had to do something with the murder. Yeah. And when the detective talks to him, they're able to find out that Fisk is the kingpin. But Daredevil goes to have a fight with him, and he takes off his jacket. He's ready for a fight. And this is when, he's got this on, you know, ready for battle with Daredevil. Again, they add a little more to the fight, and the scene a little more brutal, a little bit more brutal than the theatrical version, where Daredevil comes with the baton. It's like kingpin. He tries to strike at him, but Daredevil grabs him. Instead of landing to the window, Daredevil lands right around his feet. He tries to hit Daredevil with his Daredevil moves. Daredevil, he picks Daredevil up. Daredevil punch Whip Fist, put Kingpin a couple times, blood coming out of his face. But he's able to pick Daredevil up, push him to the side, to the window, headbutts him, picks him up, again, throw him to the side. He's like, it's a shame you came here wounded. I would have loved to fight you in your prime. And he's like, they call you the man without fear. If that's so true, why are you afraid? Sure, go kiss. It's like, flying away from Mel's kitchen. Can't believe it. It's like, you killed only two people I ever loved. Why? And Kingpin says, business. That's all it ever was business. You know, business. That's all it ever was. And it's like, your father was supposed to throw a fight or throw a foul in, and he didn't. So it was his business. And he ruined it for us. And your girlfriend was in the wrong family at the wrong time. And you've been in my business for too long. And Daredevil levels the playing field by remember what Ledger said, I'll be there for you. See you, I'll find you. And he remembers the rain, so he uses rain. He levels the playing field. As you see in the scene, it's raining, makes the rain come, makes the rain come in. Kingpin can't see him. Kingpin tries to strike. Daredevil punches him a bit, punches him a bit. Eventually kicks him in his leg. He went, you know, goes down. Yeah, Kingpin down. Daredevil, Matt's up to him. Unmasked, you know, grabs his Kane, he's like this. I've been waiting for this day since I was 12. About to kill him. He's like, realize he can't do it. He's like, I'm not the bad guy. You got that right, man. And the sirens, they're coming for you. I was like, no, the word's out on the Kingpin. They're coming for you. Like, you did the sirens. He's like, no, it's not true. He's like, well, I'll be out of prison. Believe that. He's like, I'll tell him who you are. And he's like, yeah, tell all the guys out there how you got beat by a blind man. You like blood in the water. You know, well, I want you where I'll be out. And Weirdo was like, oh, no. And I'll be waiting. He's like, justice is served. And he had the good music playing by Graham Reveal. Same music here played by him. Yeah. And he's laughing. He's like this. It's not over with you. It's not over with the Daredevil. Yeah. I can't do the laugh. My heart on the Berlin. He's like laughing. And then King, Daredevil, Matt goes to with the red rose and says, "This is for you, Dad." So it's where his father was killed. Out of respect for his father. And saying Dante Jackson, you know, is hugging on Foggy. They're saying, "See you, thank you for helping me out." Then you see him narrate. You see Kingpin sitting in the jail cell, pissed off. You know, well, he's ready to go over. Planning a revenge against Daredevil. We see Bullseye again, not in a hospital bed, but he's like stringed up. You know, and he tries to, he kills the fly. He's like Bullseye, and Ben Urich tells him at the end. He tries to go to, he talks to his friend at the end. He sees another one last shirt, but it's like no. I'm talking about no, you know. And tries to go to church. He's like, he says, well, maybe next time, Matt. No. And Ben Urich tells him he's going to run the story about him being Daredevil. He knows the truth. He knows that he's Daredevil, basically. He doesn't say it out loud, but Ben knows, Matt knows that he knows. But Urich decides not to run the story. Matt goes as Daredevil. He's like, I held on the rooftops at night, seeking justice. And then Ben Urich sees him. Ben says, go get him, Matt. Hell's Kitchen is my home, and I protect it and fight for justice. I'm a guardian devil when you see him flying at the end, jumping off the end with his billy club. And then the movie ends there. And that's Daredevil with the director's cut. Hope I didn't forget the scenes that were added in. But it does add a bit more to the story a little bit. There's some still same scenes in here from the theatrical version. In the director's cut, they just add in these different scenes. That makes the running time a bit longer, but it really does fit with the story. It does make more sense to the story a little bit. It does. But I love Daredevil the director's cut. This was definitely a lot better than the theatrical version. I still love the theatrical version. I love it out of nostalgia. Okay, I grew up watching that version. But I will say, in my opinion, this is the superior version. But I do believe, in my opinion, I do believe Mark Stevenson does a good job directing. I think this is the true Daredevil movie that they wanted to make. Again, I just think the studio didn't want it because they wanted to stick to a PG-13 version. They wanted to cut stuff out because they probably thinking, well, you had two Marvel movies, X-Men and Spider-Man that are PG-13. They think, well, it'll be more successful. That's probably what they were thinking. In the film, for a $78 million budget, it did make $179.2 million worldwide. I don't think it was a complete flop, though. No. But you definitely needed to add more in, and they did, and it made more sense with the story. I like Dante Jackson. He was a funny character. And, seeing him being Loris and seeing Matt Murdock in court. And it's good to see Foggy. He's funny and stuff. Uh, I love seeing, I'm glad they cut that out. You didn't need that. You do get a bit more action, like we do Devil in the Club, fighting the guys and using it to fight some bad guys. And I was disappointed by the bullseye fight. Instead of throwing the look of them, I wish I would have saw something a little more. See some different. You do with a little bit of the Kingpin fight and his fight with the lecture. They just add in a little more violence. It'd be cool to see a little bit more though. You did, but some nice would have been a little bit more probably. Well, what am I talking about? They did give us more. I'm talking about mostly with the bullseye fight. Yeah, but everything else, the club fight scene, the fight with the Lecture Daredevil has, and with Kingpin, they added those up more. They only changed one thing about the fight with him throwing the baton. He didn't do that in the theatrical version. But the dialogue is more badass, like when he says, "It's not a time to pay the devil his due," and then he smiles about it, and then more dialogue. So more awesome dialogue in this film. Good action, a good story. I like Matt's history. That again, he was an innocent kid. He got blinded by accident, but it gave him the radar sense his abilities. His father, who was an innocent man, was trying to get away from crime, and because of it, it cost him his life. And he was innocent. He was just a man trying to raise his son, do right by his son, and he got murdered for it. And he was a washed-up fighter. Nobody cared, but Matt did care, and for that, he chose to become Daredevil. A vigilante who seeks justice. You know, but I do miss that the scenes that when he would. I mean, there's a scene though where he talks, in the church, not in the confessional, but in church with the priest. Stand up and he was like, "You can come here on Sundays anytime." He's like, "I just like to be here by myself. Solitude, little solitude. This is the only reason to be at church." Then he can sometimes when he hears the sounds, he can plug his ears. You know, for his rare since can his hearing can hurt his ears sometime or bad. But yeah, they should have at least have them do the confessional. I did like him in the confessional. Wish they would keep that scene in. But a lot of the movie, the David Director cut, this is definitely the superior version. Uh, Now, my problems with the director's cut, I don't think you needed to give a whole lot of screen time to Foggy, to Joe Favreau. Don't get me wrong, I love Joe Favreau. He's a good actor as well and a very good director. He is funny in here, but the more they kept on with him, it just kind of got annoying. Like he was in court by himself. That was kind of annoying. I don't think you needed more Foggy in here that much. And Jennifer Gardner, I was disappointed they kind of gave her less screen time a little bit in here, which is a shame. I'm sorry, but she's a more developed character than Froggy, you know. And that scene in court you didn't need. So, yeah. And you could have kept in some stuff, maybe. And some of the CGI does not hold up well, but despite that, still an awesome cut. My rating for Daredevil, the Director's Cut, I'm going to give this 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely a superior version of Daredevil. And very underrated too. Still an underrated movie, either version. But most of the Director's Cut, underrated. So, my rating for Daredevil, the Director's Cut, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 stars. And a thumbs up for Daredevil, the Director's Cut. So, guys, if you've seen the Daredevil Director's Cut, do you agree with me that it is better than the theatrical version? Or do you prefer that version? In your opinion. Have you seen both versions? Which you like more? Do you like the theatrical version like I do? Did you grow up watching the theatrical version like I did? Or did you grow up more with this version? You know? And do you agree with me that this is a better version? Tell me in the comments down below, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I may not be doing a review tomorrow. I might be going to South Carolina tomorrow because me and my dad gotta do some stuff. We paid for the house already, so that's good news. But I will be trying to do some videos probably starting on Friday. So my next review, be right back. Hold on. Almost done here. Well, you said this is a superhero comedy film. I did review sorry, I did rant on the film earlier this year. The first movie, I mean. But I've always liked the sequel. Grew up watching the sequel. This is not a Marvel movie. It's a superhero comedy film starring French Stewart and Elena Hendricks, and that is Inspector Gadget 2. So, yeah, Inspector Gadget 2, Human is still superhero related. So, yeah, let's say it is. So, Inspector Gadget 2, sorry for the Inspector Gadget 2 is next. So, stay tuned for that. And I hope you enjoyed my review of the Daredevil Director's Cut. Again, my rating for this film is 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. Let me know, guys, in the comments down below. What do you think of this movie in your opinion? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.